First of all, what I want to know is how does it feel to have just like so much power in just your laugh alone? That's
I mean, honestly, that was like a new thing that was made aware to me. So now that I know it's as powerful and popular as it is, I'm like, all right, cool. It
yeah,
feels pretty good.
gotta use it. It's so nice though, because like when you and I'm sure I can speak for so many other people as well, but when you hear that laugh when you're like going through TikTok, you just like gotta get comfy. You know you're like in for a ride.
I
Like,
know that's what people have told me before. I'm like, well, that makes me feel good.
yeah, it's like the perfect branding. It's so good. Even hearing it now, I'm like, hell yeah, amazing. And I'm sure you've been asked this before, but I want to know like what inspired you to first start making this type of video?
It was kind of like a slow burn to this the huge like beast it is today, but I think it just initially started with me kind of giving my own experiences as far as like dating shitty dudes or like just being around shitty dudes, and I just have so many opinions on many different things, and especially on stuff when it comes to misogyny, and I used to work in sports, so I just kind of started giving my 2 cents a little bit here and there. And then one of my first videos that blew up was like a video of like really small red flags in men. And that garnered a whole bunch of hate, obviously, from the dudes who hate me to this day. And that kind of started me talking back to them and like responding to them and making fun of them. And then it just snowballed into the huge thing it is now.
Right. I find whenever I get any sort of like a negative comment on anything, it'll immediately like it feels like a punch in the gut. But how do you get past that? Because obviously that doesn't even phase you at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just because these people like truly do nothing for me. And I mean that in a very literal sense. Like they don't pay my bills. They don't keep a roof over my head. They don't feed me. They don't pay or support me in any way, shape, or form. So their words mean even less. Like I don't care about their livelihood or what they're doing or what they're up to, but they care a lot about what I'm up to, apparently. So that's like I think why the hate never bothers me, because I just know that these people mean nothing to me. So their insults mean far less. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It
Yeah.
makes no sense. And if anything, they help pay your bills by engaging with your
Period.
right?
Right. Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
You mentioned working in sports. I know you worked for the NFL. Did you find that there was like a
Yes.
lot of misogyny and a lot of maybe mistreatment of women in that industry?
Yeah, I mean, in sports in general, it is very volatile towards women in general, but I think the tides are turning a lot now that like, you know, the patriarchal system and like feminism, intersectional feminism is so prominent and much more talked about now than it used to be like 10 years ago. So I will say I think there's misogyny in every industry, but obviously sports, especially male dominated sports, which is the sports that I worked in primarily. Obviously, the NFL is like men, obviously football, and then like the NBA. So I think the attitude towards women in sports is shifting. Is it like completely awesome and loving and always welcoming? No. But I mean, I experienced it a lot even going up to the NFL. Like when I worked in other sports jobs and stuff, I dealt with misogyny all the time. So I mean, I think it's just something that ever is ingrained in everybody. And especially when you work in a male dominated industry, of course, you're going to run into that constantly. So that wasn't, I don't think, a huge factor as to why I became so vocal about my distaste for it. I think I've just always been really, really confrontational in that sense. But it did kind of like fine tune it a little bit as I got older. I was like, I really don't like that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And that's good that you can like direct it in a certain way that does so much good. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice do you have for women or just people in general who feel like maybe they have a harder time sticking up for themselves, either like online or in public?
I would say, I guess, to really truly understand and believe that you are worth all of the respect that is afforded to men just naturally, right? So naturally, people respect men because we were all raised in a patriarchal society, but you are worthy of that same respect. Just, it doesn't matter what gender you identify with, what sexuality you are, what you look like. None of that matters, because at the end of the day, we're all humans existing in the same space. So we should all inherently be respectful of each other, just the same way people naturally respect men, big men, strong men, whatever you want to call it. So I think understanding and truly believing that you're worthy of that. And also, it starts small. You know what I mean? Like there are very minute ways that men suppress women. So like talking over you in a conversation, right? Interrupting, mispronouncing your name, right? Making little jokes here and there, like calling you little Missy, things like that. Those are all things that you can swat down immediately to kind of work your way up to the bigger stuff of like vocally telling people like, hey, that's disrespectful. I don't like it. And I
Right.
tell people all the time too, like you don't have to be respectful who are not, you don't have to be respectful towards people who are not respectful towards you. That's not just
Yeah,
automatically afforded to you just because you're a man. That's not how it works. So
absolutely.
yeah, I think that's my best piece of advice.
No, that's great advice. That's so sweet. Do you have a main goal with the videos that you're making? Like, how do you hope that your impact, or like, what do you hope that your impact does in the end?
I mean, I never even remotely expected it to get to the point it is now. So I guess like my ultimate goal would be for women and others, like people of all different marginalized groups, to just understand that they are valid and worthy no matter what they look like or what they want to do or what they want to like or how they want to live their life. And I hope that my stuff just empowers them to like feel confident in themselves in whatever shape or form they are, and to stand up for themselves when they really feel disrespected or feel like they deserve better out of life. That I really hope that my content has gives them the strength and courage to like pursue the best life possible for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. That's so sweet. I love it. Do you have
Yeah.
any idea like what you would want to do with this? Because I feel like I could envision you just having like a talk show of Drew, just like ashy men for an hour straight. I would watch that.
Right. I mean, I mean, big picture stuff. I would love to have like a talk show at some point, or do red carpet hosting, and maybe even go into like TV and movies. Like those are all things that like are huge bucket list stuff that I would love to work towards. And just basically I want to keep empowering people and making them feel like seen and comfortable being loud and taking up space because they deserve to, you know.
Totally. Has there been
Mhm.
any like celebrities or anything? Because I've seen like Megan Trainor comment on your videos. Has there been anything
Yeah.
you've seen pop up that you're like, I cannot believe that person has seen my videos?
Oh my God, yeah, I have like so many.
Yeah, it's
Like I
your
have like,
TikTokers in there too.
I know, yeah. So like obviously like I'm mutuals with a lot of really big TikTokers, which is so awesome and so humbling, but also it's extremely humbling when it's like someone like Megan Trainor or like Kehlani or like Rico Nasty, just Kim Petras. Like these are all people who have commented on my stuff and really like me. Lizzo, she's like commented on my stuff and really likes me. So like all that stuff is surreal to me. I'm like the fact that they're watching me scream in my car. That's wild. Very humbling. So
Yeah, the power of TikTok.
awesome.
That's insane.
Mhm.
Is there anything you learned throughout this whole process that surprised you that you can think of?
Um, I guess I couldn't, I guess the biggest thing I learned was like how many people stay or have been in these shitty situations before. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm supposed
No,
to say
you
this.
can say. Yeah.
Okay. Just how many people have been in these kinds of situations before and never felt comfortable enough to say something or stand up for themselves. And like that shocked me because I mean, like, that's just who I am as a person. So obviously it's easy for me to say, like, what do you mean? Like, it's easy for me to say that. But so many people have told me that watching my stuff has completely shifted how they see life, how they see themselves. And like that just honestly shocked me because I never thought that I would be able to have that kind of impact on people. And the fact that I have, and it's so much more positive and uplifting than I ever anticipated it being, is probably the thing that shocked me the most. Also, how horrible men are. Oh my God. Like I had a very loose understanding of how bad they were, but man,
Yeah.
they really be proving it every day on that app, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. It's got to be a little disheartening because I'm sure you're just getting tagged in all these horrible videos all the time to like have to
Oh my God,
go
yeah.
watch all these men to then decide which ones you're going to roast or whatever. That's
Oh
gonna
my God, yeah. Just a cesspool, really. So
Well, good for
it's
you for
pretty bad.
doing it. I feel like you
Yeah.
have this like beautiful, wonderful superpower and you were like using it for all the right reasons. So thank you for everything that you do.
Oh my God, of course. Anytime.